Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Manchester City 2, Arsenal nil. Arsenal nil, Manchester City 2, for whichever way you like it pronounced. Now, obviously, you've seen my other video, or if you haven't, check it out. But moving on from what I tried to say before this thing cut out. Yeah, man, it's the same season. It's a new season, same problems. Like, all the optimism is out of the window, essentially, for most people. I mean, I'm still optimistic if you can be. I've already told you guys in regards to Arsenal this year, my brain says sixth. Like, I've accepted sixth. My heart is hoping for an inspired campaign from the boys and we get fourth, but it's a sixth thing, and I can only see us winning Europa League to have any chance of winning, getting through in the Champions League for next year, if that. There's a lot to be done. Unai Emery, on one hand, I see like what I like to see is encouraging how, on one hand, I want the players to be a bit more street smarter. Clearly, similar to Wolves last night. Clearly, your manager's told you a certain way of playing to sit off or do certain things, but you need players to be a bit more proactive between themselves and think, okay, maybe we mix it up a bit. We keep the City are pressing us high. They want us to place. Pep Guardiola's talked about many times how they set up in certain positions and certain areas on the field, not to win the ball, to purely force you to make a mistake. So surely we should recognise this, which no doubt these players and the manager's intelligent enough to tell them. So what my thinking was, alright, cool, play from the back. On one hand, you want to keep playing out from the back. Just because they're pressing, you don't get scared. By that degree, have some bravery. But by that same logic, mix it up a bit. A ball over the top, keep them guessing. Because if you keep them guessing, naturally, think about it logically. If the wingers are tucking in to press the back line, our back line deep up the field, then they're obviously leaving space. If we play a long ball and they're in no man's land, they're going to have to think, alright, cool, we can't press too high up the field next time the keeper has it, because they might do the same thing. And if they do that, then you play it short. Again, it's not that easy, but do you see what I'm getting at? I like the way how we kind of, well, definitely not in the second half, but we tried to kind of minimise the midfield. We conceded the flanks and we tried to compact the midfield, which is what I wanted to see. I would have done it with 5 at the back, but is which I wanted to see. And we did that in the first half. And the one time we didn't, they created chances. And the one time we didn't, when it mattered, Sterling created chances. At the end of the day, one chance, one goal. And this is why we're not where City are. But I'm seeing things to give me some. I don't want to say promising, because these are words I don't want to attribute. Promising for me is you can put your hand on your heart knowing your club can do certain things. But there's certain sort of progress. It looks like they're adapting to it. But our fullbacks have to do better. They have to do better in an attacking sense, in an offensive sense, when to tuck in, when to be narrow better yet, when to be wide. We have to do a bit better. Phases of play. Now, granted, before we speak about phases of play, I want us to be able to defend and do certain other things. But the phases of play, one thing that Arsenal fans, we took for granted, even when we were worse as a football club, it's gone. Many a times, the phases of play, the final ball today was, even when Edison was making mistakes, we lost 2-0 at the end of the day. We lost 2-0, and this shows why we're not where City are. But by that same logic, we could have scored. We can only deal with the facts. There's no coulda, woulda, shoulda at the end of the 90 minutes. But whether it was Edison presenting chances, Mendy, chances we were carving out for ourselves, half chances if you could say that, we weren't taking them. At times, Lacazette, footing wrong. Aubameyang, footing wrong. Ozil, footing wrong. Ramsey, footing wrong. Mkhitaryan, footing wrong. These are meant to be Arsenal players. The one thing you're meant to do if you play for Arsenal is meant to do that pretty little Wenger ball and things. That's meant to be a hallmark. It's deteriorating at this club. And if the finishing was a bit better on both sides, the scoreline would have been different, because City would have pumped us if they're finishing. And Pep's probably got numerous things to not be happy about. He'll take the 3 points because of players being rested. And at the end of the day, they're not at their optimum. He'll take the 3 points. But yeah, they can improve in that, especially when they were time wasting. Probably want to see a bit more from Aubameyang in big games, if I'm completely honest with you. I love the guy, and I'm not saying he doesn't do his thing in big games, but it seems like Lacazette is up for this. Like Lacazette, you saw him come off the bench, he was up for this. In big games, you do want a bit more from Aubameyang. On the ball, we know Aubameyang's strengths. He can ball out, he can bust little tricks, he can receive the ball from deep from time to time and drive, but he's not as technically messed as Lacazette. Obviously, I'm not even faulting the way dropping Lacazette. I would have played him, but I see the thinking. You have a fast Lacazette, you have Ramsey running in. I see the thinking for Unai Emery. But maybe you see if they play together, which I wanted to see. Obviously, a centre half or maybe even a centre half and a midfielder are going to follow Lacazette, because he's going to drift in and the space is going to be created for Aubameyang to take advantage of. And especially when you consider when our midfield is being all compact and stuff like that, and it's easier for them to mark us, that keeps them guessing, sort of thing. If you get what I'm saying, we've got a long way to go. We've really got a long way to go as a football club in regards to actually challenging for stuff. I don't know what the Chelsea game is going to throw up. in several things. Several players, like if you're looking at Bellerin. Do you know I'm mixed on Bellerin. I'm mixed on Bellerin and I'm mixed on a couple others. Because I feel Bellerin was poor, but do I feel he was the worst? No. If I'm Xhaka, if I'm Bellerin, Mkhitaryan, I do think you'll all play against Chelsea. I'm not advocating to just reactionary drop man and stuff, but you three really have to be concerned for your place. Liechtenstein, I felt, did quite well, although he switched off for the goal in my opinion against Bernardo Silva. But I think he did quite well. So there's some promise, and even Socrates and Mustafi. Again, I'm very critical of the pairing. I love Mustafi. I got a lot of time for him, but my patience with the guy is thin because of there not being any real progress. I've told you guys this before. And Socrates, I told you, I'm not going to get at the man. He didn't choose to come for this club, but he is underwhelming. I wouldn't say he done well today, but I felt them two. There's not really anything I can say you lot did wrong per se. Yeah, we were nervy at the back from time to time, but I really can't attribute the blame directly. I felt you tackled when you needed to. I felt Mustafi actually covered Bellerin a lot, and there was 1 minute I can't remember in the second half he actually started going mad at Bellerin and saying you need to get round quicker. It's these sort of things, especially with Bellerin. Like I don't know, man. It just looked, for me, the main thing as well. It just really looked like the handbrake went up at 1-0 down. Like everybody, for my logic is. Everybody expected this. Like, arguably, some people are not many, but some people are in a better mood because it's 2-0. You expected more. Most people expected this. So by that logic, a bit more fearlessness, I wanted to see a bit more conviction on the ball. Like, the only one I could really say was doing that is Gudezi, because he was playing, in my opinion, he had an appalling game. He was atrocious, like everybody. But by that same logic, he wasn't shying away. He was getting on the ball from deep. He was trying to play them passes. It was the worst you can do when you're not playing well is be stuck in and put in the shift. He was doing that. He was at times being a bit naive, chasing the ball where you don't need to chase the ball, but you need to remember the man's 19. And I told you, look, we need to be easy with the man in that sense. But it is what it is in that regard, man. Like, it's playing Manchester City. It's not the best of games to judge, you know, Emre on. We've got Chelsea next week. I mean, they've got a new manager. They beat Huddersfield. We'd like to think we're a better test than Huddersfield. No disrespect to Huddersfield, because some of our scorelines last year were disgraceful. But you'd like to think fit Eden Hazard probably starts against Arsenal next week. The way Chelsea played against Huddersfield should give them every bit of confidence. So we'll need to fix up in many regards, man. But for now, I've got nothing more to add. Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.